Do we start, madam?
Yes, sir, we can start. 1 minute.
So, very good evening to you all. Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa, District Latur, is organized a World Record Series 2. Today, there is 292nd day of the World Record Series 2, and the keynote speaker for today's session is on the platform Dr. Mithila ma'am. So firstly, I heartily welcome to you, madam, for the dais.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
I
much.
welcome our chief organizer of the series, Honorable Principal M. Ambedkar, sir. Also welcome faculty members of my college, Dr. Sanjay Kale, sir, Dr. Ken Kadam, sir, Dr. Jambuantrao Kadam, sir, and Honorable Praveen Udge, sir, and welcome to all dear participants. The topic for today's presentation is the human side to skill building engineers. Now, this topic is for today's presentation, which is going to present Honorable Dr. She is a placement director at present serving at Kathir College of Engineering, Coimbatore. So with the brief introduction, now I request to you, madam, please start your presentation on today's topic, human side to skill building engineers. You are most welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the invitation. Thanks for the opportunity, Bedkar, sir. I'll be discussing about humane side to skill building engineers. We know there are as placement director or a placement coordinator or a faculty in the sense like we have so many companies coming to us every day saying that we need to build the skills of the students, be it soft skills, be it technical skills. And for one, we are not able to afford the kind of fees they are asking. We have average kind of students or below average kind of students for whom we have to look into different angles before we actually embark on for them to do something new or neutral. In the sense, I think more than placement, any kind of job they take, with my experience on 20 years on this line, I feel the most important thing is self sustainability. For self sustainability, how do you do that with a 17-year-old with no cost? The cost is only the faculty with the old ways. So, how do you do? So, there are three factors that I would consider given the time and the kind of experiences, and I shouldn't say case studies, lives of some of the students we have changed, which is a very gratifying experience for a faculty. So, for at no cost, if you can help them build some skills, then I think there's nothing like that. Not that we are against the companies that are doing it. It could be an added advantage where they could actually exploit the entire package that comes with the companies that sells these skills, the skill training part. So I consider three important factors. One is classroom training in faculty. Another one, basically for a 17-year-old, is an icebreaker to step into, to bridge the gap between industry and academia. And third important factor, according to me, is self-sustainability. So when it comes to faculty, I know how faculty would feel with the kind of responsibilities and the kind of huge load we have, how to bring this in. So it's just not covering the syllabus. That part we all know, teaching learning process. We have all kind of accreditations to get us done through that. But how do you perceive skill development inside a class? It is not. It could depend on the personality of the faculty. It could depend on the faculty's interests. It could depend on the way the classroom. You have control over the crowd. What I feel are there are main two factors when it comes to faculty. One is identifying how a faculty perceives a skill development. So, sorry, if I can teach driving in 10 days, if I can teach a swimming class in 15 days, why not one kind of skill in over a semester. So they come from school to college without a corporate outlook. Knowingly or unknowingly, they are not aware of the skills they carry. Some might talk, some might only talk, some might be very technical, some may not be technical. So I think the old school ways of looking into individuals and making them humans is not possible for us now with the crowd we have. So how do we go about it? So how do you form a team and make them work so that they understand what would be the corporate culture, what would be the politics behind it, how stressful it can be for them, what is emotional, emotional upheaval they have to go through for the sake of the job and balancing their lives. So first one is how would a faculty perceive this and change it for them? Not all lives of all students or faculty can change. I don't think it is possible. You just bridge the gap between whom and who understands you. We are not there to make friends. So how do we do this with an authority of letting them know they have to be listeners as well? So there could be different backgrounds. There could be a lot of problems. Like it could be socio-economical, it could be cultural, it could be very difficult paths they've taken in their lives that would make them very resistant to our teaching. The first thing is should be, as I said, an icebreaker. So how would you do that? So no matter how much they might try to avoid us, they must try to stay away from us. They may not want to have any encounters with us. It is very important to identify their talents. So to identify the talents, not that we are doing any parenting here. There is a strict boundary for us where we have to draw between parenting and being in the teaching field. So if say, for example, if the faculty is actually interested in music, what I tried or what are the trials and errors through which what I have done, the kind of iterations I have been through for these latent variables of being happy, of being emotional. The first thing what we try to do is take the interest of the teacher first. So if the teacher is interested, say for in one particular subject has been doing it for years together, we would like to take them into the account and ask them to form a kind of a club. So funny club or, some people are very humorous and those people would like to join the club. So say, for example, you're starting a music band. What would you do with a music band? First, the teacher may not sing, but might be interested in music. So we would just like to give them a band and we would say, ma'am or sir, can you collect a few members for this club? So how would you do that? So why would you do that in a college or a school or in an engineering school where you would not have time for arts and science? But I think it is very important to start clubs that includes arts, dance, drawing, science, life sciences, any kind of club that they may be interested in and could not pursue because of being in engineering. So give them some kind of happy quotient to work with. So first one would be let the teacher build. Maybe probably she'll ask one or two to come for an antakshari. They would do 2 or 3 damsharads with them. Sing along or do something like in their college times. Maybe she is reliving or he is reliving their own college or school days. Do that, and you will see a few slow audience will slowly form. We would start with 2 in a week. We would go and engage them for 3 weeks like that, 2 people, then 3 people, then 4 people. Then slowly the number will increase. We have seen that increase over time. So once they know we don't actually have to know music to come there, but you can sing along if you want, set out a karaoke or anything in a matter of time. This is what I'm saying is nothing extra around the time that we are doing, not like that. It could be a small break, interval time for a 20-minute break in the morning. Before lunch, 12 to 12:20, those kind of times. So we would take them into this, make them sing a song. Someone would go, yo-yo on that. We would be very happy to watch because the number is actually less. As the number increases and more people interested would come, it doesn't take years, believe me. It just takes weeks for the numbers to increase in the club. So slowly when they increase, this is a no-cost thing for the college also. So it is a no-cost thing that the faculty has to do also. So it is a balance that we have to find. So we could take turns, 1 or 2 teachers joins, then we could take turns. So what is the main thing psychologically we would be doing here is bonding with the music faculty coordinator who would be connecting to the audience. look at the increase or the decrease of the participation in the club, consistently go for weekly event internal, and later if it grows bigger, make it at an external event. So external event is like, again, I would cut down the cost and say they register, let them join, and we could have a day for that and let it get done without disturbing the academic activities. So once this ice is broken, and you start, the student is interested in music, you start a coding club, you ask him to jump into coding club, the next day he's not going to jump into the coding club. It is not going to happen. Coding club is one of the most difficult clubs. We are finding it difficult to get members actually. So what we do it in the coding club is take 2 from book club, take 2 from music club, take 2 from here. Why don't you come and join us today? Give them a small coding, even like a hello world. See who does it faster. Hack it up, do us something, gift them something, and then they finish it off. It's hardly a 15-minute coding club kind of thing, and that can be done. That would work wonders. It could be an icebreaker, I say, because they would find their own skills that way. If they're not setting up with a coding club that week, they do have a choice to go join the book club the next week. So, if say, for example, the faculty is interested in watching Instagram reels or stories, we know that resumes today also can include making Instagram stories and reels as a fact. You can write that. I think all of them say that. I have talked to so many HRs who says, let them be honest about the videos they make. Let them give them the link. Some of HRs are actually interested in listening to the reels they make. So say, for example, they have an English teacher or a faculty of engineering who's interested in Instagram reels. The numbers would increase, because it becomes an allowed thing to do inside the campus. At the same time, train themselves for skills that would sell them, that would help them market themselves. So we need to be more open. Sorry, excuse me.
So, thank you very much, madam. Now, participants are requested. Please, if you have any query, come ahead and discuss with Honorable Mithila.
Yes, sir. I'll continue. I just had a cough.
Sorry, please continue, ma'am.
Yeah. So this kind of events we build social. So what we tried to make out of this was from here we went into a digital marketing club. The digital marketing club needs content creation and to impact the audience, how to market it, how to sell it. So those kind of things could be developed from one to another. Okay, what do you do with communication skills? We are paying so much outside for the students to gain through communication. When we faculty can communicate so well of new subjects that are coming in, new engineering things that are coming in, it is definitely a possibility for them also to get explode on these lines. So giving seminars didn't seem enough because we had the coordination that we needed with the audience, the connect, etc. So one of our students actually came up with a suggestion to do something like in TV, having 15 members on one side, 15 members on the other side, and have a debate time. So that worked wonders. First week we had 10 and 10 on either side. The next week it was 15 on 15. So then the people who were not talking, they wanted to talk in their native language. We allowed them to do that and to hear their own voice in a group. So even the more than how they surprised us, they surprised themselves. So that was wonderful. Like we had, it was a coordinated skill development, I would call it. Because see, I'm telling this point, you come, you talk to them for another one. So that kind of inputs from the others, and we had 2 tiles in between them that they couldn't cross from one debate point to another. They jumped the tile. So really, we are like those kind of students who are sitting in the class. We're not volunteering for seminars, but they were ready to take a debate. So then they hear their own voice to realize, oh, I can talk so much. So that kind of communication skill, why we are emphasizing on communication skill is I don't think we are left with a choice not to talk. We need to talk to sell ourselves in the market of the huge corporate. So this developed some cognitive understanding of expressions of each other. When the person in the opposite side gets angry, they're able to reflect on it, on why they got angry. They could discuss that with us after the meeting. So this kind of debate, kind of skill club meetings would take us an hour. For book club events, we also would do readings excerpts from the lovely books. Sometimes we have gone from everywhere, from Dhammapada to to Ambedkar. We have discussed all kinds of books, and as Shakespeare, what they did in the 11th grade with Tempest. Interesting books, some small excerpts, some Penguin mini series, these kind of books, and the rebellions, whatever they want, they can talk what they like in that book. So those kind of books gave up, gave us a lot of. For me, for someone like me, say for example, I can't sit in one place for a very long time and restless kind. Those kind of students are always there in the youngsters. They would listen to stories that are very interesting, and you can have their attention for more than 20 minutes. So they just volunteered. The number increased from, I think, from 10 to 12 to 14, and now I think we have enormous numbers, like from 35 to 40 in a day. This is for just a morning break in a week. So those kind of excerpts makes them listen, see who the writers are, make them, in this point where we are all digital reading, they would like to take books from the library and read. This I'm not exaggerating, it actually happened. One of the students even came to me personally and asked for a book. So she said she has never read in her life and she wants to read because she would like to listen. So those kind of things change them as a person. And these are like sustainable habits, the kind of skills, even if you, if you're not driven your car for around 10 days, you can't suddenly pull the person out and ask them to drive, they'll work. That's skilling. It never leaves you. It stays with you for the rest of your lives. So self-sustainability, cognitive understanding is very important. As teachers, we know how to connect with your audience. We know how engaging we can keep a class. We know when the attention goes off, when they go to sleep. We are all aware of that. We cannot deny it at all. So at those kind of points of time, we have cognitive understanding of expressions of each other. We are very sure of that. How do you bring that in a youngster? It's not just asking them to stand up in the class and giving an answer. It hardly takes any time. But when they can sustain their attention for 15 minutes in a debate and talk and make a point, I think it is a skill developed already. So that was one way. And if they go through a very grueling kind of hackathon or a grueling kind of competition, they come out and then they again think about how good this could get. We could see there could be a lot of change in their gestures when they go through a difficult time and come out of it. So that is a common human habit, a latent variable that cannot be measured. I have seen them for over 3 months, so I know I can make out a change. So if there are some kinds of skilling that can be done for the rest of the life in the classroom teaching. So how do you do? When I'm in the class or when we take a class, we know when they go to sleep. So we stop it there either. Because if you think it is an important topic, then lack of time, we just ignore it. I think none of the teachers can deny that. But if you have, how do you hold your attention for 45 hours in a semester? If you ask, I would say that's a kind of skill we develop over the years. We learn to ignore, we know to trim, we know to extend it, we know what is needed, we know to prioritize. So how do you teach that all the youngsters? These are the talents we have. So these kind of things can be deciphered by a youngster only through being very empathetic towards their fellow team members or their fellow classmates. So the most important thing that even companies or business models are concentrating are empathetic engineering. Why? Because you have to understand what a user needs. If the user is looking for more gossips on the newspaper column, or if you're using for more Instagram updates from actors, actresses, or popular or celebrity figures, then that's what will be delivered to you through your AI. So those kind of, why do you deliver that? it comes from a innate quality of being empathetic. Empathetic is just not being compassionate or empathetic to people who are suffering alone. It can be just empathetic, understanding another user or another user in the eyes of a business model, students in the eyes of a teacher, or a fellow friend who's suffering, or understanding of another fellow human being from another perspective. So understanding, being in their shoes and understanding. It was usually used as a quality where you look at downtrodden people with empathy. No, it can be very useful for a user, for a cost model. So how would you be empathetic when you have a talent and you want to develop another talent? You need to be empathetic about it. So empathy through talent and challenges can be faced through clubs that we have seen through ice breaking and making them. This cannot be done because we cannot work only with the toppers of the class. We are left with average, below average students who has to get placed in a good position so that a family as a whole gets developed. It changes a generation together when we have first graduates in our class. So how would you do that? That is reformation. What you do to them by developing their skills is reformation. So that kind of reformation, you have to check off the list of high preferred students. They have to be less preferred now. So how will you give them a big job? How would you ask them to do a bigger model? You can give sub-functions, functions, chunks, small work to them. Just asking them, how do you teach them reliability, or you actually trust them? All you have to do is just ask them for a help. Tell them, give them a document and tell, can you correct this document? I have 2 pages of this. So when you trust them and give it, it actually works. And they think they are skilled. Even if they're not, they're skilled and they can correct it. They come to you n number of times telling that, where is a mistake? What have I done? Even if I pull them down, if I tell them it is not nice, what are you doing? They still want to correct it because you trusted them with a job. So give them a big model in small chunks. Ask them to do what they are capable of. They might be an artist. Ask them to draw a small thing and give it to you so that you can have a display of that. These are all old methods what old teachers would do us in school. But we have this kind of population in engineering today that we need to adapt to that also because it's working wonders. So what we will do is get small chunks, say a Hello World program, sit with them for that sub-function, ask them to run it on their own, give them an output, they'll give an output, and they'll feel very cherished. So what this I have seen giving amazing results. It's a kind of rapport. So let me come to the kind of case studies that what I have done through my experience. I wouldn't say a case study. I'm very sorry. I'm just saying it shouldn't be a case study. There are people I'm talking about. There was one particular student I had in my, I think 2005 to 10, that time being. This person was capable of studying as an average student, but was going below average at that semester. This change comes in the 3rd or the 4th semester. So I go and ask him, what is happening? I want to meet someone from your home, just ask them to come. And he comes from some, and he says, no, I will not bring anyone. Then I call their home and I ask, just come, I just want to understand this person. Because see, when you look at from outside, we will definitely give a job for this boy. Proper presented personality. So what I did, I just told I'd like to talk to your parents or someone from home, a friend or close friend for a very long time or something. Comes to me and says, the father comes, says, there's not a big rapport for me with my child. Because you claim yourself to be a big person, I'll just get a 70%, you get me a job in a big corporate. This was his challenge to his father. And he says he wants to satisfy his son for some reason. They have their own reasons for that. So that is a challenge he's telling me I have to do. And for that sake, this boy is refusing to work at college, saying like, I'll get only 70%, let my father get the job. This I'm not exaggerating. It might look like serial or a drama kind, but this was actually happened. So then I told him, I'm not your parent. I'm not doing any parenting in college. I need results. I know you can do this. You're not quitting a lab. He just absents himself for the lab and says, my father will get your job. Because he's holding his father guilty for something. So then I said, whatever the reasons, I find all of this when you put it to the word, put in words and acknowledging it is like very dumb. You better get me the result I want. I will see what I can do for you. So I said, I'm really watching you. And every day I had a follow up with the boy. Did you go to the lab? What did you do? What was your experiment? I already had 120 people who I was tutoring. For some reason, this boy got my attention because he was refusing to work. And I found it damn lazy. So then he came and he said once he got the attention, he knew he cannot run. He blamed his mom for one reason, father for another reason. I brought them all together, spoke to them, and they said, "This is it. I'm not taking any of this rubbish anymore. Let him sit and work." So we had extra hours with him. I had to work an extra half an hour or 1 hour, at college. And it was a journey which was grueling to understand him. Excuse me. Sorry. So then, as the journey went by, every day I was asked to sit in the lab, do some codes and stuff. After a few days, after 1 or 2 semesters, he cleared all his area because I was behind his back. He just wants me away from him. That was the main reason, I guess. And today, after 12 years, he pings me and says, I have been through his life journey. He placed himself as a probationary officer first, then quit the job and went into some other analyst job. He worked himself up, went to the US. Unfortunately, he lost his father in between. He understood the value of life. He's married and has a kid and is in US. That could be a happy ending story. And same way, the more attention you give, not the kind of parental affectionate attention I'm talking about. It's just the attention on actually pinning and acknowledging that they can be empathetic, they can be compassionate to others. It will change the way they think. So this gives me amazing results because of the rapport you build. He has to see me, he likes me or not every day. He has to come and report to me or I'm back behind him. So this kept on going for a very long time, and he actually developed a rapport with me. Which even I didn't expect to happen. So it was in my very young years that this happened. But now when we come, I happen to see a very second person I would like to talk is very proud of a person, another student. In his second year, I joined newly in that college, and he was given to me, saying like he's interested in your field, microelectronics. He has to develop himself, but he's feeling what you're studying is not enough for him. The lecture rooms are not giving enough for him because the boy is a very logical, intelligent, and a brilliant one, actually. Okay, so it was microelectronics. He was grooved into it, and classroom teaching was he's pulling him down. This was the feeling he had. So this boy was like, do something with him because the boy is very capable, but he's refusing. So what I did was we had another option where I had to use another tool on microelectronics. So I called him for my support. I said, don't come to the campus, come to the other place to work on the labs. So then he came in, he grew himself. He qualified for a all India competition. Cleared the first round. I was a mentor, he was my mentee. So we had 2 mentees in that program, and we attended it together. We left the state, we went somewhere else and attended it 10K. And from then on, to have an amazing result, again, it's not drama. He was like, took off totally with microelectronics. Not that he knows better than me, definitely. We just show the path. So I think this boy will not talk. Okay, he's very less communicative, but his skills lies in not coding, but drilling to the lastest T. So that kind of depth he has in whatever he does. So he still has. So then now he's in one of biggest companies again. So where that talent is looked at. So paid a way for him through competitions where he was interested in and that. So I think this kind of building up rapport gives amazing results. This is a topper, and we all know it is very common. But in toppers, one day or the other, they are going to come up. Yes. But if the family, the family was in a different league altogether, so then they had to pull all the resources for this boy to come up. He's in a very nice place that he dreamt of in his dreamed company. I'm very happy for him, whatever he does. Like now, I feel I'm very proud of the person that person has become. So we might have one or two stories like this to tell all our children or our students or all our lives. But every day to make changes, I feel skilling should be a place that starts from classroom. So if I have a 20-minute break, what would I do? We cannot deny the fact that we are heavily worked, but we can do that in the classroom. Give them the 10 minutes, do something useful, make it very gratifying for us as teachers. And I am kind of obsessed with the idea that that classroom teaching does change lives. I'm a living proof, and I have some friends who have done that. We have tried compassion, empathy to understand the actual situation. It's something we do every day. I'm just naming it, that's all. And the first thing is to just acknowledge this particular thing needs empathetic engineering. It could be a cost model, it could be a business model, it could be a classroom model, but still you can do. I hope it has changed some lives, and I really want to share so that the students become very self-sustainable. With more empathy, they become more communicative. They become very collaborative, because of which definitely teamwork will work. With this, you bring a lot of ethical considerations. You let them learn what is trimming about. You give them mentorship and kind of support they would need once in a while. They will have a lot of adaptability when they go through the kind of skill training that we do in classrooms or through clubs. So they will be very resilient to troubles. When they fall in these kinds of skilling, when we fail, there will be failures, yes. They will not get into the competitions. They will be trying for a very long time. They may not get results. The coding will fail. This is all mandatory things that will happen. They will learn to be resilient if you just pull their hands for once. That hardly takes us any time. So just focus on being on the compassion and empathy does not need to be coming from the faculty alone. The students also need to understand that, which will focus on their own well-being. So, and another important thing that I would like to communicate for self-sustainability is having a community involvement, and they also making some social impacts. So I think these kind of changes have always have given us results. And I always wanted to share this on an All India forum, and I thank Bedkar sir for giving me this opportunity first. I'm like, he gave me time to talk about the thoughts I have on this and rebuilding them. Thank you very much, Bedkar sir, and thanks Prashant sir for giving me this opportunity. I'm actually thrilled to talk about it, and I can actually name what I thought. As I told, naming the emotion is the first thing, and I think I named empathy engineering and compassionate engineering, being in the corporate or in the school classroom level, cannot be called as manipulation. It is for growth. I think at any time this can be done. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, madam, for the wonderful explanation on the topic, the human side to skill building engineers. So nicely. So thank you so much. Now I request dear participants, if you have any query or would like dear participants.
मैम के लिए मैं हिंदी लैंग्वेज में बोल सकता हूँ प्रशांत सर?
Yes sir, yes. Madam, would you get Hindi?
Sorry sir, I can't understand Hindi. I know only Tamil.
सोनू कुमार सर, अगर कुछ क्वेश्चन है तो बोलिए।
मेरा सवाल तो नहीं है, मगर जो मैम ने जो स्किल से संबंधित जो जानकारी दी है और जो बातें बताई है, मैं तो इंजीनियरिंग का ना विद्यार्थी हूँ ना कोई छात्र हूँ, मगर इंजीनियर का जब बात आता है तो इंजीनियर का हमारे देश में काफी भूमिका है, हमारी कंट्री में। और एक इंजीनियर पर कितनी बड़ी जिम्मेदारी होती है, वो सारा सर ने आज ज्योग्राफिकल एक कल्चर का एक कार्यक्रम रखा इंटरनेशनल, उस बीच में भी अगर देखा जाए, इससे जोड़ा जाए तो ये उससे भी संबंधित हो जाता है। और इस बीच में आज का सेशन 1 घंटे पहले 6:30 बजे के बाद सर ने एक जो अभी का जो सेशन रखा, ये दोनों मेरे लिए इंफॉर्मेटिव इसलिए हो गया क्योंकि मैम ने इतनी महत्वपूर्ण जानकारी दी और ये तथ्य को इस तरीके से इन्होंने जोड़ा और जितनी बारीकी से इन्होंने समझाया बिना प्रेजेंटेशन के। तो मैम की बातें बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स जो थे बारीकी से देखा जाए तो बहुत सारे व्यूज ऐसे थे जो मैंने काफी इंजीनियरिंग के टीचर, प्रिंसिपल और प्रोफेसर होंगे, मैंने बातें की होंगी, मगर इतने 1 घंटे के सेशन में इन्होंने जो जमीनी बातें बताई वो ये शायद ही कि मुझे सुनने को मिला होगा। इसीलिए मैम को मैं बहुत बहुत थैंक्स कहूंगा क्योंकि मैम ने बहुत ही अच्छी जानकारी साझा की। क्योंकि इंजीनियर की भूमिका कहा जाए, सिविल इंजीनियर हो चाहे इंजीनियरिंग लाइन का कोई भी विद्यार्थी हो या कोई भी हो कार्य करने वाला हो, वो शायद इससे तो अछूता नहीं है क्योंकि देश में सबसे ज्यादा अगर योगदान होता है हमारे कल्चर पे, हमारे जीवन शैली पे, तो इंजीनियर का काफी सारी भूमिका होती है। और इस बीच में मैम ने एक अच्छी जानकारी साझा की। प्रशांत सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मन में कोई सवाल नहीं है, मगर जो सवाल भी थे तो वो मैम ने बहुत बारीकी से बहुत सारे व्यू दिए हैं और मैंने बारीकी से सुना भी है। धन्यवाद।
Sir, can you please translate for me? Just alone.
Madam, just he appreciated to all engineers, those who are serving for the fields and their actions, then everything of the engineers. Really, it was very appreciable. He said only this, nothing more about the questions.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Then again, I request dear participants, if you have any query, please come ahead. Dr. Swami Shukla, sir.
Hello, good evening, Dr. Bedkar sir, Prashant sir, and good evening, ma'am. Wonderful presentation you have made. And what I can understand is a kind of a human relationship between the teachers and students, and this aspect is wonderfully explained. And definitely, you'll find every person has its own circumference, his own emotions, and his own attitudes and aptitude. And it doesn't coincide, many of the times it doesn't coincide with each other. But we have to understand those feelings when we are the teacher, mentor, or facilitator, we are there. So we have to understand our student sitting in front of us. Because many of the time, we just make a comment, say, suppose someone has not done an assignment, we pass comment. But maybe he's having some kind of genuine problem with at his place. And that is why he has not done it. We should be a little patient also to listen to them. So that empathy and sympathy and, all those aspects, the emotion should be there within this. So there is no just a relationship between the student and... Just a minute. Yeah, there is no just a teacher and student relation is not there, but not many human feelings are there in between. And definitely, a teacher can become a light to illuminate the path of the student. And that is why that is how they should play a role. Rather than rejections, it is very easy, But considering those people with compassionately, we can turn them into their real life. So that is the beauty of what I feel, the teacher has to tap those lamps and lighten those lamps. So that is what I have learned from your lecture, ma'am. Thank you very much. I will just talk about one of my students. He came from some other college. I'm from medical college. He was shifted from one medical college to another medical, Nagpur to Nasik. And first lecture was there, and he came out of the class and he very frankly approached me and he said, "Sir, your language I'm not matching with and I'm not getting." So I said, "Okay, that is okay. I will go a little slow, but now you do one thing for me, that whatever the things I'm teaching in the classroom, you make a notes every day." And that student, stood first in the class, in my subject. So that is how, just if I've rejected him like that only, his or something like that. So I think that really helps them to grow further. So thank
so
you.
the point he took to come and tell you itself, I think, is a very gratifying experience for you.
Yeah, there should be no barrier in between the
Yes,
student
no
and
barrier.
our teacher should be approachable. That is a major thing, otherwise, I'm a teacher and you are a student, and they carry some impression in their mind throughout their lives, right? So that should not be there. We are the human beings, both are on one boat only. We think that, right? Well, no one is superior, no one is inferior, because we can learn from students also sometimes. So that empathy, that kind of a relationship should be there with the student. That is what I believe strongly. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your
Thank you.
explanation today. Yeah,
Sir,
thank you, Dr.
yeah, there are two modes to this, sir. We can either take the beast mode, or you can take the lamb mode. I don't belong to the lamb mode. I actually belong to the beast mode.
Yeah, correct. So
some way to approach them. That's all.
yeah, they should approach, or we should approach, and there is no problem as such. So
Yes. There are no straight answers for the kind of troubles we face. So they are more empathetic towards us in that sense. But at the same time, every time being kind and coy with them is also not working. So go into the beast mode and then jump on them.
We have the situation. We have to find out the situation and genuineness.
Yes. We live with that every day. So there cannot be anyone else who can actually teach empathy and compassion to students than us. I think they also need to develop that.
Students are also making a drama in front of us, sometimes.
Sure. Totally agree.
Develop their image in their as a teacher.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Correct, man. Thank you. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Prashant, sir.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Sirji.
Thank you, sir.
Parul madam would like to ask something, I think. She had raised her hand.
Thank you so
Yes,
much,
madam.
sir. Ma'am, the session was really wonderful, and here I just wanted to have a question. Like, in my class, there are some of the students who are from RTE section. Like, they don't have the enough, you can say, the support from the parents. So, like, sometimes it becomes so difficult for us to give all the environment, like teaching we can give, but the thing is, like, sometimes that they need the moral support too. We usually give, but then it's sometimes it becomes temporary. And like, yeah.
Ma'am, we cannot replace parents. That is not our job.
Yes. Yes.
that is not what we can do. From a teaching perspective, when you see them for 45 minutes, if you can give them some kind of not a specific motivation to one particular person, not like that. You generally address the class, and when they see others' lives changing because of one or two or one or a half of the person, someone changes something in them because of us. We can take the beast mode, as I said.
Yes.
You can put it on their head and beat it up. So as I tell them, I mean, not literally. I mean, the way you say it to them.
Yeah.
So So once it has to reach their head, there has to be 50% walk from their side. We cannot do it from one side.
Yeah.
And parental support is something that we are not there to provide. We are not adopted parents.
Yes.
So that we have to be very clear. I'm not adopted you. I'm a faculty. This much is what I can do. We have our own limitations. We have our own family. We have our own jobs. That is very... So there is a limitation to what we can do. I think it's a balance only, ma'am. If there are 2 or 3 students with economically bad condition, there was a failure model for me, actually. One person was studying very well until school and did not study after he came to college.
Okay.
So because of family situation where there was no parental support. So I actually had some sponsors for him who would sponsor him for his hostel so that I can bring him to the hostel. I spoke to his parents, got the permission, did all the necessary things so that he can shift to the hostel because he can study well if he concentrates and is in a studying environment. You won't believe he discontinued.
Oh.
That sponsorship was shifted to around 10 students who found it very useful for them. So this is something, these kind of decisions, that's what I said. No one is as good as us in trimming these decisions.
Yeah,
So
true.
we have to take decisions that suits that particular point of time, that particular person. We do the maximum. If they don't reciprocate, we have to take a step back for our own mental peace and being empathetic towards ourselves, self-empathy.
That's true. Like the mental peace is also required, and then only we can give the quality in the next lecture. Definitely, ma'am.
True.
Thank you.
For our others need us, ma'am. So
Yeah.
we have to be available for them. We cannot stop with the one failure model. We have to move.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bedkar sir. You found me for this. Thank you very much. I hope I was able to fulfill what your expectations were. But thank you so much for the opportunity first. Thanks, Prashant sir, also. And I know how hectic it is to do from 8 to 9. But thanks to all the participants. I know it came for the value of Bedkar sir, this audience. So thank you very much for joining. For believing in me that I could. I'm very happy because you believed in me that I could deliver something sensible to you. That makes sense actually. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, madam. Really, it was a very wonderful session you have presented today, and it is not only important but very informative speech you have given. Really, it was a new knowledge for us, madam. It is too valuable for every engineers as well as the teachers, students, etc. So I am very, very thankful to you on behalf of the organizing committee member. You accepted our invitation, and in hast you came and joined to the session while you are traveling. I think we disturb. There is some disturbance in your traveling, or maybe in your routine work. So sorry for that. And once again, I thank you very much.
No, sir. I have committed. It was my mistake. I was late 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay, then thanks, madam. Really, you explained so really human aspects regarding the different buildings engineers, skill building engineers. I thank the chief organizer of the series, Honorable Principal M. Ambedkar sir. Also thanks faculty members of my college, Dr. Sanjay Kale sir, Dr. K.N. Kadam sir, Jambunat Rao Kadam sir, as well as our vocational supervisor Praveen Udge sir and others. Special thanks Sonu Kumar sir for the appreciations in the series, and also Dr. Swani Shukla sir for nice queries and sharing your view. And at last, thanks everybody, those who join the series regularly, encourages us and enhance the beauty of the series. So thanks a lot once again. You are requested, please fill the feedback link which is given in the chat box. Now, with the kind permission of the chief organizer, I declare today's session is over. Thank you once again, Dr. Mithila ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
For your-
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
डॉक्टर सर एक रिक्वेस्ट होगा कि मैम का एक बार सेशन और लिया जाए, क्योंकि मैम ने इतनी अच्छी महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियां दी है और सबसे बड़ी बात है सर कि उन्होंने जो जानकारी दी वो बिना प्रेजेंटेशन का इतने बेहतर ढंग से